So, this is your new bike. We're going to talk about a couple things, just kind of get you dialed in so you can go ride. We're going to first talk about proper seat height and how to do that. First way to adjust your seat height is make sure your pedals are positioned right. So what you do is whatever pedal you feel comfortable with, whatever foot you feel comfortable with standing on the ground, you line the opposite pedal up. So I'm right-handed, right-footed. I'm going to line the left crank arm up parallel with the seat tube. Okay, so once the crank arm is parallel with the seat tube, I'm going to loosen up the seat right here with the 5mm Allen head that's on the Allen. Loosen it up to where it slides, but it doesn't drop. So, you being shorter, I'm assuming, you're going to want to lower the seat down, get on the bike, hold the brakes, make sure the crank is parallel, put your foot on the pedal to where the ball of your foot right there is on the pedal surface and your foot is level or parallel to the ground, like so. And then you sit on the seat and make sure you have a slight bend in your knee. You don't want it so high that your knee's overextended and locked out, and you don't want it so low that your knee's almost at a 90 degree. So just a slight bend right there, and back the seat up to where it's fully up in your crotch. Like I just set the seat height for me, and as you can see, it was a little bit too low. So I'm going to squash it down knowing that you're a lot shorter than me. About right there probably. And just kind of snug it up for you. I think it'll fit in the bike box. If not, we'll have to loosen it up and probably take it out. So as you can see, once it's taken out, you putting it back in, that's how you adjust your seat height. Now I'm going to talk about the brakes. This bike only has one brake. That's the front brake. We can put a rear brake on it, but it was set up for fixed gear. Right now it's set up freewheel to where it's pedal backwards. It has a front brake, so just remember that your brakes, the front is 70% of your stopping power, the back is always 20. So don't grab a lot of it, or the front end might wash out, and that's not a good thing, especially in the wet, slippery conditions. Just kind of feather it and anticipate the stop. Go, okay, I got to stop 20 feet up there, I'm going to start braking now. Other than that, let's throw it up in the rack and talk about the front tire, taking that off, taking the pedals off, taking the headset off. Because those are all items that you're going to have to put back on out of the box. I'm going to grab the wrenches here that'll be in the vest of your bag for you. It's a 15mm wrench. Use the box end on the nut here. Loosen these up. Both sides. Whenever you have to change a wheel or change a flat, this is the same procedure. Front brake, you're going to want to squeeze the caliper together and flip that lever. That opens it up wide enough to get it past the tire. And you might have to squeeze it out through the brake pads of the tire. So this is the front rim. This won't be on the bike. It'll be like attached to the side here when you pull it out of the box. When you put it back on, make sure that you put it on with the direction of the drive arrow written on the side of the tire. So you'll just make sure, okay, it says drive this way, and you put it on like that. Pretty easy to do. The pedals, they'll be off the bike when it comes out of the box because it's just, the box is too darn narrow. Now the right side pedal is reverse threads, meaning lefty loose, correction, righty loosey, lefty tighty. So to loosen the right side pedal, meaning when you're standing over the bike correctly, this is the right side, you're going to want to go in the left direction. Opposite of righty-tighty, lefty-loosey, it's going to be lefty-tighty, righty-loosey. So make sure you remember that. Otherwise, it'll be difficult to get these back on. They are indexed right and left. So before you try putting them back on, make sure that you have the right one going on the right crank arm and the left one going on the left crank arm. Otherwise, you chance stripping the threads. As you can see, this says R right here for the right crank arm. It's got grease in there so it doesn't seize up on you. Take the right one off here real quick. This one is going to turn to the left, like lefty-loosey, standard. Lefty-loosey. This one's on a little tight though. And you reefed it on there. Isn't this right?
Cut.
No. But it helped me, yeah? There we go. Righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. So, I think I might have screwed up on that.
Did you get 'em backwards?
Yeah.
Right side's normal, left
Right
side's opposite.
Normal, left side's opposite. So as you can see, I went through that whole presentation, and I was wrong. So make sure you get the right one and the left one. This would be the left side of the bike when you're facing forward, so the left pedal goes on the left side. Make sure those are correct, otherwise you'll strip the cranks. Now, loosening up the headset. This is the stem, the headset stack, and the lock cap. These are both lock bolts right here, tightening the clamp onto the stem. So the first thing I'm going to do is loosen up these lock bolts. These clamp the actual stem onto the fork steer tube. So I'm going to loosen these up, and these keep it from spinning or getting misaligned, and the top one here sets the compression, meaning how tight the headset is, how loose it turns. So if you keep tightening this one up, you tighten the whole headset stack, and it makes it harder to steer. If you loosen it up, it makes it come off to remove, and that's what we're trying to do right now. Me old Mr. Gravity. So, take off the stem cap. Slide the stem off the headset. And just kind of let it hang down the side for now. I'm going to put the stem cap back in there for shipping. And then, when you go to put it back on, you'll notice that that's the top side. When it spins up, the handbrake lever is going to be on the left side of the bike. You take the cap off, slide the stem down on the steer tube, bring the compression nut down, snug it up, make sure that that one's tight first, the one on top, compressing the whole headset stack and keeping that tight, that way it doesn't rock back and forth. Once that one's tight, you don't have to over tighten it, about 12 pounds of pressure, foot-pounds of pressure. Then you tighten up the two binder bolts on the stem after you have aligned the center of the stem with the center tread of the front wheel. So you'll have the front wheel back on. It's easiest to put the wheel on before you try lining that up. Other than that, we're going to dry run it real quick and see how it fits in your bike in the box, so you can know what to expect when you pull it out of there. All this stuff will be wrapped around your bike to keep it from getting scratched. That'll be wrapped around your seat. I think I might take your seat off, so you're going to have to adjust your seat height, put it in, and adjust it yourself. It'll fit. Probably sticking out the top, so I might as well take it off now. Actually, let's just put it in so I can show you what I'm talking about. See the headset. Get a look at here what we're working with. This is your headset. There's a bearing race on the top, a bearing race on the bottom. So when you put the stem back on and compress this all down, that's what tightens it. So you want to get that one snug. Get it snug, tighten up the two binders on the back, go ride it, and then loosen the two binders up and retighten that. because it will loosen up a little bit until you get it. It's a brand new bike until you get it ridden. So, let's see if it fades. But yes. I have to take the back wheel off, don't I? See that, Dawson? Or should it slide down, the front slide down?
I think you might get lucky. Yeah, you'll just have to take the seat off, yeah.
So it's going to come out of the box like this. Seat's going to be in the wrapping. Everything's going to be wrapped up to its mouth like a, I don't know, burrito. Pull it out. First thing you do is put the front wheel on the fork. That way you can set it up and have it stable. Make sure you put the tire on to where the arrow, drive arrow, is facing forward, to where it's like it's going that way. Once you do that, tighten up the 15mm nut here with the wrench included, and then adjust your handlebars and tighten those up. Once that's all done, put your pedals on. Make sure those are all tight, not over tight. And I think that'll pretty much do it on that. Am I missing anything else?
Nope, that's about it.
Riding it, on the other hand, there's a couple things about lane positioning I'd like to talk to you about. We're about here to the curb. We're going to use Austin's bike. The biggest thing to understand is don't ride on the sidewalk. For one, it's dangerous. Two, it's illegal. So, everywhere on most city streets, bicycles have the same rules and regulations as the road. So, when it's a narrow street like this, use the full lane. Make sure you're out away from the curbs where people can see you that are coming behind you and people in front of you. If you're passing a vehicle, like a parked car up there, give yourself at least 3 feet going around it. That way you don't get doored, meaning have the driver open the car door and you run into the car door. Use your hand signals. This one means stop, or I'm slowing down.
Yep,
This one means I'm going left.
Do the stop one again?
Stop.
Okay.
Going left. Going right. That shows intent, meaning if somebody runs into you and you're using your hand signals, there's no real argument in court because you're using your hand signals, showing intent what you plan to do, and it's the safest way to ride. Other than that, wear your helmet. Wear your helmet, and ride like you assume that nobody sees you, because most people in cars don't, and they're listening to their music, just sitting there, worried about that kind of stuff. Worrying about what they're going to eat for dinner. Who's next? Anything bad?
Well, I guess, maybe lights. You're probably going to need to get lights.
I am sending you a rear tail light. In my opinion, a tail light's far more important than a headlight. But a headlight's pretty... Actually, you have to have a headlight due to vehicle code. So, use your lights after dusk. Start getting about like this. Use your lights.
Good rule of thumb is street lights.
Yeah.
If the street lights are on, you definitely need to have your lights on.
Once street lights are on, cops will tell you that. They expect you to have a light on your bike. Don't ride on the sidewalk unless there's a bunch of crazy people on the street. Keep your bike lock with you. Let's go show you that.
Yeah.
I forgot to talk about that. Your bike lock is one of the most important things that you can have with you in your bike, just like a bike pump, the tools to fix the tire. The bike lock will allow you to ride your bike again the next day. I'm one of those people that if I don't have to lock my bike up, I won't. I'll take it inside. So this is what it's going to be. Send you 2 keys. clamshell lock. Opens like that, goes on like this. Kind of awkward. Get one in there, get the other one in there. And that's locked. The reason I carry a lock like this is at nighttime, I carry them as a bandolero. It doubles as a weapon. If you had to deter somebody from stealing your bike or messing with you, that would really protect you. So keep your lock with you. Other than that, wear your helmet, your messenger bag. Always keep the pump, the bike tools, tire lever for changing the flat tire. This is a couple things that I left out I forgot to tell you about. This here is a Presta adapter. This changes these European valve stems here into standard Schrader. Now to work this valve stem right now needs to be opened up to put air in it. So you need to open up the needle valve right there. You see that? Press that lets the air in and out. And then you take this Presta adapter, slide it over the needle valve carefully, and thread it onto these top threads of the valve stem. Now this allows you to use the hand pump I'm going to send and pump the tire up. Once the tire is inflated to whatever PSI you want to run, you take the Presta adapter back off and tighten the needle valve back up. Otherwise you could lose air. And then put the Presta valve back on. Or keep it in your patch kit area. I'm going to put it in your patch kit, so that's where it's at. But anyway, keep this. You need it. You need this. You need this to change a flat, to take your wheels off. You'll have a pump. You'll have your lock. There's something else I'm I will be putting a bell on your bike too. It's very important that you use the bell. Correct riding technique. When you're passing somebody, you ring the bell when you're about 20 feet away from them. Ding ding, on your left. You're going to pass them, you pass them on the left, let them know. You're coming up to a group of people, just start ringing your bell. That way they'll get out of your way. Works the best. And if you get pulled over, cop goes, okay, you have a bell, you got a light, you're safe. You got a bell, you got a light, and you got brakes. You're safe.